Hi, my name is Maya Snoda.
Hi, my name is Victor Lish.
Hi, I'm William Beatty, and this is My Life.
And this is my life.
And this is my life unpacked.
So I studied abroad last spring, the spring of 2024, in Florence, Italy at Lorenzo de' Medici as an AMC student and a minor in film. So this is a photo of my classmates. This is my teacher, Miss Nina Morano. This class was called Acting for the Screen, and it actually was a class that didn't pertain to my major or my minor, but I was able to take it just as an extra class, and it was so much fun. Everyone at Lorenzo de' Medici specifically is from different schools all around the US, but also the world. These two people in the back are from the Netherlands, which was really cool. She's from Binghamton, he's from Northeastern, Iowa. Like, everyone's from different schools, and we were all in the same class pursuing the same homework, and we all bonded because of that. And these are all people that I never would have met if I didn't study abroad and take this really interesting class. This was for my spring break. It was rainy in all of Europe, but for this one day, it cleared up, and we were in Portugal. This is in Sintra, which is an hour away from Lisbon. We took the train, and it was like a little trail. There were castles there, and it was absolutely beautiful, just paradise on earth. It was so pretty. I had ice cream that day.
So this is actually the first picture I took the day I landed. This was sort of just like a moment, wow, I'm actually here. I'm actually in London. Just seeing the Big Ben, all the famous London buses. Luckily, I'm from Luxembourg, so my flight was only an hour, so I got there really quickly, and my parents were able to help me and just move in. So the perks about being in London is that there's so many cheap flights going anywhere and everywhere, thanks to Ryanair. So here I actually went to visit a friend from high school. She goes to the University of Edinburgh, so I just hopped on a quick flight to Scotland and went to visit her for a long weekend. And Scotland's just so beautiful. Edinburgh, very renowned, a lot of history, so it was an amazing time.
All right, so this is actually my commute home from work every day because I was in the AC 424, an International Perspective internship program, which was studying abroad in London. So this was my commute home after my 3 days a week at my internship. I worked at an advertising and media company, and it was really great, and this was actually the neighborhood that we lived in. So it was just a great picture of where we lived. It was Little Venice. It was a really great place to live, and it's also where I lived with a bunch of other people, everyone else who was in the program, and this is just a picture outside of the apartment. I lived with 5 other people, and they were all great roommates, and we did that. We were there for a month. Everyone was commuting to their internship 3 days a week, and then also as well 2 days a week to school. And you really get to get close with these people that you live with, everyone in the building and the program, but especially the people that you live with, you're really going to become close with if you do the program. And I was lucky enough to have some great roommates, and they're friends of mine to this day.
For a weekend, we went to Paris. We were there for literally 2.5 days, but I did everything that I wanted to do. Paris is one of my favorite cities now, and this is me in front of the Eiffel Tower. Everything behind me, though, is barricaded off because it was the Paris 2024 Olympics. So all of the parks and everything just had Olympics memorabilia around it, and we couldn't go into a lot of places, but it's fine. Speaking of Paris, this is when I was at the Louvre. As a study abroad student, you get a EU visa, so you're basically an EU citizen for 6 months. Because of that, most museums in the European Union, you can go for 2 to 4 euros. So this is a photo of the Louvre, and I went for 2 euros, which is approximately $2. And it was beautiful and amazing. And again, because of Paris 2024 Olympics, a lot of things were closed, but it's okay, it was still beautiful.
I also went to Morocco. There was a really cheap Ryanair flight going straight from London to Marrakesh. I believe it was $100 round trip. I went with 2 friends. We all met abroad, and yeah, we hopped on a plane, went to Marrakesh. It was very last minute, but it was one of the best trips I've ever had. We got so lucky with the weather and the people that we met there. We actually went to the Sahara Desert, and it was one of the most beautiful sunsets that I've ever seen in my whole life. We stayed in tents in the desert. It does get really cold at night, so be aware. But yeah, studying in London, then going away for the weekend to Morocco is just definitely an experience that you can only have when you're studying abroad and when you're doing your study abroad semester. So I could not recommend that enough.
And then here is me. I was doing some sightseeing because, like I said, you are doing the internship 3 days a week and then school the other 2 days. So you really only have the weekends and you're there for just a month. So I really try to take advantage of those weekends. And on the last weekend or so, I did some sightseeing. So I did all the tourist things, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace. So that was just me going around. It was a really great day. I just had the ability to go wherever, and you get to learn the city very well because you are commuting 3 days a week. I just felt really comfortable in London by the end of it.
I think that everyone should study abroad because you get to go to a bunch of different places, especially in Europe. You get to travel around Europe, and it's honestly pretty cheap to travel around Europe once you're in Europe. Specifically at my school, you got to meet a bunch of different people from a bunch of different places. I have friends now in Iowa, which I never would have had if it wasn't for my study abroad experience, which sounds insane to say, but it's true.
A big misconception is that international students shouldn't study abroad or they don't have to since they're already abroad. I think this is not true because it was amazing for me to being now here in New York, living here and experiencing this culture, to then be able to go somewhere else for 6 months and experience a different culture. And I think that's just a wonderful experience. So I highly recommend anyone and everyone, even international students, to study abroad for a few months. Because at the end of the day, once you're graduating, it's not going to be as easy to live somewhere for a short amount of time.
Doing the program, I definitely am very happy that I did it. I never thought I was going to be able to study abroad just because a semester was just too long for me. I'm very go, so a month was the perfect amount of time, as well as I felt that it really made an impact on my confidence just professionally by getting that international experience working abroad, as well as I met a lot of people at FIT that I definitely would not have met if it wasn't for that program. You know, you are living all together, which is unique. I know some of the other programs, you may have to find your own housing, but with the 424 program, everyone who is there lives in one building, and it's a really great experience to get to know some people at FIT that you wouldn't have known before, the great advisors that lead it, and then just gain some international professional experience through your internship, as well as just become acquainted with a new city like London. And that is my life unpacked.
That was my life unpacked.
This is my life unpacked, and I hope you liked it.